We've been talking about humility now for several weeks, and I've been thankful to use this book by Hannah Anderson entitled Humble Roots. I'll put a link to it below if you'd like to order one. It's a very simple read, it's easy read, and a challenging read at the same time. It's simple and easy in the way it flows, challenging in how it speaks to us. And in this last talk on humility, and there should be a playlist with all of these videos if you want to kind of play through them. We're going to look at the idea of humility in the face of everything else, in the face of what is happening in our life, in the context of what's happening in our family, our community, our nation, the world. There's a proverb that some of you have probably heard before of a man walking along a seashore, and the beach is littered with starfish that have been stranded by an abnormal tide. And as he is walking, he is stooping down and picking up starfish and throwing them into the sea. A stranger comes along and says, it's kind of cool you just threw that starfish into the sea, but there's no way that you can throw all of these starfish into the sea. And then he makes a statement that we often make in our lives: it doesn't make any difference. And the proverb is that the old man bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it into the sea. And as he did so, he said, it made a difference for that one. And I want us to think about humility in the face and in the context of our life, how so many times we are challenged by what we perceive as valuable versus what is actually valuable. Solomon talks about laziness a lot in the book of Proverbs, and we often look at it as a lazy person as somebody who has no value on anything, which is actually probably the incorrect way of looking at it. In Proverbs 24, verse 30 and 31, he says this. He says, I went past the field of a sluggard, past the vineyard of someone who has no sense. Thorns had come up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds, and the stone wall was in ruins. It's not that the lazy person doesn't value anything. It's that the lazy person incorrectly values everything, specifically themselves, their energy, and their effort. They did not see the work that was needed as worth their time and energy. Laziness is a misunderstood value of our energy and effort. And petty behaviors, we see some things as petty behaviors or tasks, and they're seen as having no value. There was a speech that went viral, happened at the University of Texas by Admiral William McRaven, back in 2014. And he was delivering a commencement address, and you could go online and find this speech if you wanted to. And he opened it up with the challenging statement of get up in the morning and make your bed. And what McRaven was saying, Admiral McRaven was saying, is that when you make your bed, you begin to see yourself as available for what is there, as present for what is there, as willing to engage what is there. In other words, you begin to apply your energy and effort, things that we can hog to ourselves, things that we can hold back to ourselves. And you might say, well, why would I make the bed? Because I'm going to come back to this bed in 10 hours or 12 hours or 16 hours or whatever it is. But making your bed makes you a willing participant in what is now happening in the rest of your day. And humility lived out in our lives in simple moments, in the way that we interact with our children, in the way that we interact with our family, the way we interact with school employees, teachers of our kids, the way we interact with the cashiers at the grocery stores, and even in the moments that we have in a church building where we're passing and communicating with each other. Those are a statement that we are willing to be faithful and to be present in the circumstances that we are in. And as the man said about the starfish as he threw it back into the sea, it mattered to that one. Our humility and the way we live our lives matters to us, and it matters to the people that we encounter. So I hope that you'll take those things and give them some consideration, live them out in your life, and engage with them. And as Admiral McRaven said, get up in the morning, and if you're able, make your bed. God bless you. I'll see you next time.